Well, there you are. Again, Charlie Greer podcast. I do this every day. Today, Rant of the Madman, my book update. Before you do, please like, share, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, the info is in the description for Zelle. It's an app. You just can't click on the link. You got to download the app. Supposedly, Zelle is the future of anyway. It's simple and easy. So, Rant of the Madman, my book, the update. Let's do this. Yeah, I'll explain how I wrote the book because I didn't try to write a book. I was in a band, my solo band, Charlie Greer band, whatever. And I had my paintings. I used to do paintings, show. I was a painter. I still paint. I'm an artist. And I owned charlesdavidgreer.net for years, a website that promoted my. I had merch, all anyway. And this is around late 90s into the 2000s. So this was probably like 2002, 2001, 2002. And I had a website, charliegreer.net. And one of the buttons you clicked, music, this merch, whatever, was updates. So when I clicked update, it would show like if I was playing live, if I had an art show, this, that, and the other. And the webmaster, he was actually a friend at the time. Just kind of got catty and was like, look, anytime I have to, it took him 2 seconds to update it. Okay. We were roommates at the time too. You're going to have to charge me $25 or charge you $25 to update. Like, update it. Like, at the time, the guy didn't have a car. I'm driving him around, this, that, and the other thing. No, he wants to charge me $25. Okay, fine. And then the next day, he's like, well, look, I'm sorry. I kind of, I'm broke. I'll make it so you can click on a button. It'll spawn a new window and it'll be a free site. You can do your own updates or whatever, and then it'll be on your website. Okay, thank you. And also he was kind of a saboteur. He would like misspell words and get cranky. I'm like, you did? He's like, no, I didn't. I check it. No, I know. I was like, I just looked at it. And then he'd be like, oh, sorry. Again, he was always doing that. He was always doing something, saboteuring something, and then like sabotaging shit. And be like, oh, dang, I don't talk to that guy anymore. So he, I spawned this, I spawned a window and I put updates. And after a while, I just started ranting like a madman. I'm just like kind of doing what I'm doing now. I would just rant. I don't know if I did it every day, but anyway, it went on for a while. What I didn't know is he'd used a site like diary.org or one of these sites where when I wrote and posted on my webpage, it would also go to this diary site. Okay. I've never written a diary. I didn't know. This is the honest God truth. Had no idea. I'm dumb like that. So one day I get an email from this site saying, oh my God, out of like millions of people, whatever, how many people are on there doing that? You're in the top 10. You made the top 10. You've had, all these views, reads or whatever. Like, what? I was like, man, you got it wrong. Like, no. All your entries. And I thought, oh my God, like this isn't a diary. It just happened by happenstance that, so I was like, dang, but it was cheap and easy to do. So I just kept doing it. And I was in like the top 10 of this, and I started getting a lot of people emailing me and stuff. And one of them was a photo editor or a typeset editor, something from like, I think she lived in Ohio or Pennsylvania for like a publishing company. She's like, oh my God, you've been solicited by fan, and you getting all this stuff. So you mind if I typeset it for you? Because I got to put it in format. Have you thought about putting it in a book and releasing a book? And I was like, well, maybe, perhaps I could. And she did. And we kept in contact for a while. And she even solicited it to me. Here's another thing. And she had some pull. Anytime you get to a certain level and you got to get to this executive level, these executives that are kind of like basically bankers, you're taking money, you're cutting a deal. You know what I mean? They're taking most of the intellectual property, but they are narcissists. They are sociopaths. They are jealous too. They wanted to be writers, and the rich kids that their parents sent them to Harvard or whatever, and they become an executive, and they don't like true artists. They don't like people that are genuine. Birds of a feather stick together. They got to keep that hive mind. They're like the Borg. And she was all excited, and then not only did they not like it, they scolded her for bringing something like amount, how dare you? So she emailed me and said, look, I can't, I'm not going to email you anymore. After she was like, and typeset it for me, this, that, she goes, look, here's the format. You have all the files. You can publish it, send it to a publisher, don't contact me again, kind of thing. And I'd never done anything. Matter of fact, I don't even think they read the book. It's just that, again, they can smell it out. They can sense it. Just like you have like vibes. They don't like good vibes. Again, they want that nanny boo-boo. They need narcissists. Every day they wake up, they need to burn through people, man. It's everywhere. Every executive level, every meeting I went into, same type of people. So I got, so I started, they gave me the format. I started soliciting, hey, trying to solicit my book. And the same thing was happening. Like, oh yeah, we love it. We love it. They get to a certain level. Nope. Don't contact us again. Okay. I mean, I reckon. So after a couple of those or 10 or whatever it was, I was like, you know what? I'm going to find out how to publish this. So I'll use a co-op company, a self-publisher. And it's like called iUniverse, which it was a mistake. And they're like the biggest self-publisher in the world. And they also have their own publishing company. And that's how they lured you in. Like, hey, let's just test the waters and then we'll sign your book up and you won't have blah, blah, blah. You get more percentage, that, So I did. And it was cheap. Back then, I think it was like $300. And they would do certain things too. I got free books for a while. At first, it was cool. Because there was levels of what you can do. And I got like the best one. Like, hey, it was like a $300 sign up fee or something. Then they would like promote the book, manufacture it, send it out, the shipping, all this stuff. They sent me things to boxes to hold my displays and all this other thing. And at first they were helping me like get book signings and everything, until I got on the radar to some other of these executives at this, and then they and here's the deal. They've never paid me. I think my book came out in like August or October of 2003. Never been paid. Never. And I know how many books. I used to sell a lot of books. I'm owed. There's no telling how many. It could be in the tens of thousands now. It's sad. I mean, again, this is not a unique story. Everybody, Stephen King is owed money, okay? Unless you got like a boardroom of lawyers going after people. That's everywhere. Every industry that you're in, I don't care what it is, they're stealing. They're cooking the books. They're doing this and that and the other. And laughing about it at martini parties. Yeah. I mean, I would do before I found this out, because I was like, why am I not getting paid? Well, quarterly. Oh, we sent it to the wrong address. You've moved around a bit. I'm like, no, I'm not moving around. Huh? So I used to do book signings. Sometimes they were by myself. Sometimes most of them were group signings. I'd always sell the most books. I would draw a huge crowd, and I would be with these people who had taken major advancements. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for an advance. They hadn't sold a book yet. And a lot of times it was like picture books of people's tattoos or pictures of scars or some kind of cartoon shit I couldn't believe it. They'd have stacks of books. And I'd show up with like 20, sell out, have all these, if you go to my Facebook, there's pictures of me doing book signings. It's packed. I'm signing book, they hated that. One guy, he did, because a lot of this was when I was living in Los Angeles. They also, even if they get big advancements, they punch up scripts and they work for TV shows. These no talent writers, okay? He's like, man, Charlie would be perfect, because every once in a while they do need someone with a little bit of talent, because then it'll show their lack of. See, they don't want you around because you validate their creative, stagnant output. If they have all of them the same around, everybody thinks, oh, that's great, because most people aren't artists. They think anything you create is good. It isn't, man. There's levels to the game. So they don't want anybody. Again, it's a multifaceted kind of reason why they do it. And it's everywhere. It's in the auto industry. It's in everything. So he was like, yeah, he went and talked to certain people. Like, yeah, you need to, let's have Charlie punch up some of these scripts on TV shows. He was making a fortune, man. He was making bank. He couldn't sell a book. All right. Matter of fact, he wasn't telling me that he'd taken this big advance and they were wanting part of it back because he hadn't sold any books and they knew how much he was working. He was working in Burbank for some, big NBC, whatever the fuck it was. And he was trying to fight. They were trying to get like $750,000 back from him. They'd been conned. See, they're con people that do that con them. I write for this TV show and I'm a writer. Give me a big advancement. And they did. And then he sold $10. So he needed someone. He was even asking me like, hey man, can we co-write? Can I just put my name on some of the stuff you write just to make me? And I said, yeah, because I knew the game. It's like, okay, you can piggyback for a bit and then I'll throw it, I'll use him just like he used me. And I did. I got a meeting with this. Oh my God, one of the worst people I've ever met. And she came in, didn't say. I said, "How you doing?" She didn't reply, and then she went at me. Had nothing to do with the book, nothing like that. I'm not going to repeat what she said, but it was bad. And then she got up and left. She didn't tell me to leave or anything. I go, I guess this is over with. Okay, whatever. I'd already had some of these type of things where they go after your character. They go out. They don't mention anything about your creativity. It's more like, you're not this, you're not that, you're not this, blah, 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 blah. I don't like the way you. I've never met this, Just you could tell that she was threatened by just creativity. I'm not saying I'm the best. Again, I'm not saying I'm none of that. It's just that I'm genuine. I'm unique. So I got tired of it. I threw my hands up. I was like, because I owned the movie rights. I was like, well, you know what? I'll just pitch the movie rights. And that way, I'm done with the publishing room. I'm not doing any more signings. Matter of fact, I had signings booked. I didn't show. You're not here, child. Nah, I'm not gonna promote this, for you guys to make money. I'm tired of sending your kids to college. You know what I mean? So I should have known better, because pitching the movie rights, the same thing happened. You people, you solicited people, these producers or whatever, people with production companies, but they have to go to that executive level. They have to go to the bank level, I call it, where they have to get money from these mouth breathers. A lot of them are nepotists. They've inherited money or conned, every time. The worst was when she was rude at first. She's like, I'll solicit. I have nothing else to do. And she's like, I met her and it was on, what studio was that? And she had offices at a studio. Anyway, I gave her a couple copies of my book. And I remember that day we met. She's like, look, you don't contact me. I'm leaving this afternoon. I'm going to be on a private jet going to New York. And you're bragging about what she's about to do, to some, like, I don't even know what it was. I was like, no, I'll wait. Later on that night, I get a call from her on the plane. I was like, I don't think, can you make calls on plane? Like, oh yeah, this private jet, oh my God, you're a genius. Why didn't you tell me? We're all, oh my, you should have gave me more copies. This is brilliant. I can't wait to show people, you're going to be a star. Like, well, I said, hold on a minute. I even mentioned, I said, look, we haven't got to that certain level yet. You know what I'm talking about? She's like, oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. And they're brutal, though you lied. But my brother's one of them in this executive level. And, he's my brother. So we would meet like twice a week at the offices of the studio, and you show up. It's a Hollywood. It's nice. You have to go. You meet the front. There's security. You have to go through. This, that, metal detect. And then I had to get someone to. We made a DVD presentation, so I had to burn the DVDs with the artwork on it. This and that. It was a package that people would get. So when you pitch them, I'm in a boardroom where you can. And it took forever. And I had to spend money to keep I could have signed some over to her, but it's my intellectual property. I don't want to sign. I'd rather, keep as much as I can, because they're going to take a lot. So, and I've told this story before. I'm sorry if I'm parroting myself. Then it's a big day. We meet. It's a big, tomorrow's the day. I can't wait. So we had a meeting like the next day or two, whatever it was. And I get to the lot and I'm banned. All right. Like, I'm not allowed to go on. They had all these security. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, we'll talk to her. No, she's in on it. They told me, sorry, because I'd already got to know some of these people up front. Banned. Well, can I get my presentation materials back? No, she's keeping it. What thievery, Or she'd already thrown it out, or something. I was like, huh? Like there's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of, effort, heartbreaking shit. And so I get home and then she does give me a call, like, yeah, never contact me again. Oh my God, they hated you, this, that, and the other. They didn't even read the book. They just asked a few questions. Is he this? Is he that? He's not. No. And she'd warn me that if you're not certain things or certain type of person, they don't work with you. And me just being like because I'm a regular guy, no, that's not, I don't wear like, you know, high water business pants, suits and all that, uh, I don't know how to tie a tie. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, and that's really, I don't know how to tie a tie. I'm a dumbass in certain aspects. Well, that ain't gonna flow. I don't wear suits. I don't do this. I don't do that. Oh my God, da, 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 da. He didn't have a degree. Oh, and diary.org or whatever it was called that was hosted by, eventually they banned me. It got banned. I wouldn't even use it, but it was still up there. So I'd forgotten about it. Matter of fact, I lost a doctor. I shouldn't say this, but another guy with the same. Well, anyway, someone bought my website out from under me. He'd offered me a little bit of nothing. I said no, and then the day I was going to redo it, it was not. I missed an hour or two, and he scooped it up. So I lost my charlesdavidgreer.net. Yeah, that's how it is. That's what you're dealing with. It's like boxing or something. People are coming at you. You're ducking. People are swinging, not physically, but verbally, and you know, backhanded deal. You know what I mean? It ain't pretty. Matter of fact, I would suggest somebody not live the life that I've lived. I'm not talking about everything else I've done. I'm talking about the creative life, an artist life. It's brutal, man. I have regrets about it because there's a small group of people that kind of appreciate me, but everybody else, shit, it ain't good. So that's and people are starting to buy my book. I mean, people have always bought my book. I used to be able to track it. And it was selling all over the world. I remember I used to be able to track the used copies, and I forgot where, maybe Amazon or something like that. Man, there was like a ton of them in Hawaii. Hawaii. Okay, Oh, and the first editions are going for big bucks. That first one, I wish I would have saved them. I only got like so many, maybe 100, and I was giving them out, doing book signing. It's not. I've seen them go for like $800, $1,000, and this was back in the day. This was back like years ago, so they might be going for more. Pardon me, if you've got one, hang on to it, or I'll sign it and we'll split the profits. Hey, but yeah, and thank you for people that do keep buying the book. But I don't promote it. I mean, it's kind of a thorn in my side. My book is, I don't, I do own the movie rights, and I've known people. Again, I've known people that I got friendly with that. That's what they do. They've solicited. They've made movies, this, that, and the other, and they can't work with someone like me because, again, what I just said, I'm out of the box. I'm like a Charles Bukowski or something. Like I'm Johnny Thunders or something like that. I'm just not that. Not that I'm mean or anything like that, but my presence, my output, my creative is threatening to these milk toast below average people. You want to succeed, be below average. That's what you want to do. You want to be just good enough. So, but you can't be too, because people. The crab theory. Watch my crab theory podcast or my episode. That's a thing, man. Now, look, I'm not trying to say I'm a genius or I'm the greatest, whatever. But I got a little bit of something, something, and they don't like that. Again, they don't want you. Even when they're saying they're looking for the bet, they're not. They're looking for people they can control. They're looking for people they can rip off. That's the game. That's the business model, and it's always has been. But now it's 100% of that. Usually there was some, it was 50-50, then it's 60-40, and 90-10. Now that's all there is. Not going to get anywhere. My scripts, I've had people, and I could name names. They're literally like, "Hey, you got 2 or 3 scripts we like. Give us the first one. You're not going to make a dime, but we'll give you credit. And so the second one you can sell." I was like, "No." And then later on, when I found out that's actually a standard thing, you got to give it up. I knew somebody. She was like, "Yeah, man, the movie there, buddy. I didn't get any money from that. But my second one, I started. I've heard Van Halen had to give away their first 2 albums before they make you a star, and by the third one you can start. Maybe I'm wrong about Van Halen, but that's what I've heard, and that's standard. That is a thing. It ain't gonna go away. It might dilute a bit. It might dilute. But everything that you see that's being promoted nowadays is just average at best. Mostly it's below average. And people should know that. I mean, look around. Look at the TV shows and look at anything. Again, even the cars that are being made and everything. Politicians. I mean, that's just the thing. They're looking for yes people. They're looking for narcissists. They're looking for sociopaths because that's exactly what they are. Again, birds of a feather stick together. I'm not making excuses. This is what it is. It's an arduous task to hold on to your, creative spark. They don't like that. People that are creative a lot of times are kind of shy and quiet, and they don't want to be told what to do. Well, you can't, because the first thing they do is they want to give you an itinerary too. When I like my book, okay, you're going to do this, that, you're going to do that, you're going to do an interview at 4:00. You're and then afterwards we're going to no. Dude, I got friends coming. I ain't gonna. And you do run into like Ray Bradbury. One of my book was kind of popping off at first. Ray Bradbury showed up at one of my book signings. A fan. I signed a book for Ray fucking Bradbury. Ray Bradbury. And he said the same thing. Yeah, man, they did the same thing to me. Hang in there, kid. And I hung out all night. And there were other, it was a group signing he showed up with. He came there. I sold out the most books. I'm the only one that sold out. They wanted to, kiss Bradbury's ass. Man, he was like, go fuck yourself. I love Ray. What was it? Ori Ackerman? He started a like Monster magazine, whatever. He was a fan. He showed up one time and how did you find out about me? Oh, he was an old man by then. Oh, and so was Ray when I've got my finger on the pulse, and he did. And Ori or whatever, Ackerman, he told me the same thing. Yeah, they did the same thing to me. Just hold in there, hang in there. And I do. I mean, I'm down. Like I've never, like financially, I've never been this down. Well, when I was, it's been a decade, 15 years maybe since I've been, but it's the arts are down. I moved to the smaller town. I'm not in LA where I can like flip cars and sell guitars to get by, or, yeah, it's been rough, especially these last like couple months. It's been brutal. I ain't doing too good. You do that as an artist. You gotta, you get ups and downs. That's what happens. Peter Sellers, a comedic genius, he died broke. The Pink Panther, and then I hear like Steve Martin's he redid the Pink Panther, but they're horrible. I was watching Artie Lang's podcast; he was talking about it, and like Steve Martin made more money off the Pink Panther, bought an island or something, and poor Peter Sellers died, like I don't know, broke, but like not he was down, and by then he had mental illness because he was depressed and just he'd been dealing with this stuff. Like a creative genius who you give up. The fight is again, as an artist, you're not wanting to fight. I'm talking about like not physically fight. I'm talking about fighting for your creative freedom. And kind of what the strange thing is, my book, Rant of the Madman, that's what it's about, basically. It's a quick read. It's like 80 pages, 100 pages or something. I want it to be like a pamphlet. I want it to be like so other artists could like keep it with them. So it wasn't like a heavy thing and they could, like flip the pages they like to read and, kind of like inspire them to hang in there. You would think that, no, nope. Got to get your alligator skin on, kids, if you're going down that artistic road, man. It hang in there. Maybe you can't though. It's brutal. It's a thing. Anybody tells you it's not, well, they're wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. Um, and people like me are disappearing. I'm not talking about like they just don't hardly exist anymore because people know they want to take the easy route. They want to be, on YouTube. A lot of people are just parroting about whatever it is. Walt Disney, true crime, this, that. They're not really using their, because my podcast is all over. So it's basically about me and what I'm, uh, they don't do that. They use fake names and this, that, and the other. And they, go to, coattail right off other people's misery, or I'm here at this certain location to talk about something that 1,000 other people or 1,000,000 other people talked about. And quite honestly, I like watching some of that stuff, but man, it's so watered down, and just these people don't even know how to speak on camera. They suck. That's what I'm trying to say. They're monetized. They're making bank. Wow, they're okay. I lost you there. Said my connection was. See, they do. That's what I'm saying. I hear it come. I'm telling the truth. They disconnect me again. YouTube is coming after me too. I'm getting doxxed. Um, yeah, it's a thing. See, I shouldn't say because I wish I could release backhand until I get my a website. I could have my own server, and but that would have to be a membership. I think I don't even know. But someone told me. Who was it that told me this? Um, like I was featured on Adam the Woo, who I like Adam the Woo. This is nothing against Adam Woo. I know Adam. I've known him for years. I haven't seen him in a while, but I've been on his podcast a few times. The one that I'm featured on is his biggest video. You'd think he'd want me back on. This is the thing about Adam though. He never would ask me my name. He wouldn't. I don't know. He's again. I don't get it. People are like that. He'd be like, "Hey, I know this guy," and it's just a guy. You know my name, dude. Uh, it's what it is. So I just keep on trotting along. What I do, I'm kind of like a Shetland pony or something, just doing my thing. Again, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. If you want to support the channel, the info's in the description for Zelle. It's an app. And guess what? If you do, you'll be the first one. I'm not getting support. I'm doing all this for free. Not a nickel I've got. The only person is Lindsay. She's made me a hat and a t-shirt. And I love Lindsay. Lindsay's become like a friend. But as far as no, it's not a nickel. You see the shit that's making money out there, right? And I know my podcast is not the best, as far as like technology, you know what I mean? But my uniqueness is how I riff, how I do this live, and people can't do that with their awkward pauses and their, good luck with that. And at the end of the day, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to influence people to be better. I know this. I'm going to spawn 1,000,000 other Charlie Greers. It's always happened when I was in my band with my art, all that stuff. People are only hurt behind the scenes. They're only hurting themselves. Oh, you'll see. But yeah, I do this every day. Comment below. What do you think? If you had bought my book, thank you. I'm horrible at promoting it because of these said problems that I've had about not getting paid. With a book that's out there that, now they have like digital downloads of it and all this. I don't even know. Ebooks. I mean, who knows? They took me off the cover. If you got the one with my tattoo on it, well, see, there's a couple I don't even know, man. That's what I mean. I can't keep up with it. They don't tell me. Another person that tell me like, hey man, they replaced you on your book. Now it's some model with like a fake tattoo. What? And I've tried to contact, I gave up about 10 years ago about dealing with this publishing company. Again, it's a co-op company. It's a self-publisher. It was cheap back in the day to do it. And this is another, I've tried to pull it down many times. They said they would, because supposedly in this contract I signed, I could pull it down anywhere, go with someone else. Who knows? Yeah. No, they just keep selling. Why would they stop? Because And they've deleted comments. If you look at the there's not they don't they again, welcome to my world. This is the story of my life. You know, they're doing it here on YouTube again. It's the same kind of mentality. If you read ancient books, like people are like, why would they do that? Because I've always been asked over the years, like decades, why would they do that? Boils down to this ancient knowledge of like people will, if you're chosen to do the right thing or the wrong thing, they'll always choose the wrong thing. They're contrary. Is that what I should do? No, then. I mean, that's just it. It's like a baby mentality. It's like nanny, nanny, boo, boo. That's what you're dealing with. Now, granted, they could have degrees and this, that, and that, but when you pull all the onion layers away, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with this ancient knowledge of like, no, I ain't going to do it because someone told me I should and I should do it. I ain't going to do it. I'll do what I'm going to do. You know, that kind of shit. Everybody knows people like that. I mean, the world, that's how the world turns. Anything but in power, that's how they are. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's the truth. Again, please like, share, and subscribe if you want to support the channel, which you do. Nobody has, but the information is in the description for Zelle. Zelle's an app. You got to download the app. Supposedly it's the best new way, the safest and the quickest, and they don't charge or this, that, and the other thing. And I forgot who told me to use it. Anyway, they said it's going to be popping off soon. So I'm doing it. But yeah, I love y'all. I do this every day. I'm ranting like a madman, so I'll be back tomorrow. Not necessarily talking about my book, but oh, and my book, you can go to Amazon.com, wherever. You can Google Rant of the Madman, Charlie Greer. You'll see it. It's got a red and black cover. I use the image of my book on the image of the podcast today. And that's the original cover, not the one with the muscular model. It's a shame. It's a shame. And they've cut my book. I mean, it's people are telling me getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Like last time I talked to someone, they said it was like, I forgot how many pages. Like, again, there's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. My hands are tied. Like, I can't, what am I going to do? I've tried. I've talked to lawyers like, well, I need a $5,000 retainer and it might take 5 years. The only people who are going to make money are the lawyers. So I was like, no, I don't think I'll do that. But what are you going to do? I'm going to keep doing what I do because that's who I am. That's what you do. I mean, there's different kinds of people in the world. This is who I am. I'm an artist. I live an artist life. Sometimes you're down, man. You got a nickel to your name. Sometimes you're up. Yeah, it's a pattern. What are you going to do? But look, I love y'all. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. Cheers.